Hello drama lovers, welcome back to my channel. Breaking news. It was supposed to be a perfect night, smiles, laughter, a celebration of success and love. But when Bai Jingting stood in the middle of that glowing room, surrounded by everyone who mattered, there was one face missing. And sometimes, it's the silence between cheers that tells the real story. The venue sparkled like a dream, warm lights spilling across every corner, fans sending endless birthday wishes, and flashes of cameras painting the air in silver. Bai Jingting looked effortlessly charming, wearing that gentle smile that the world had come to love. He laughed. He thanked everyone. He raised his glass with quiet grace, as if every happy birthday carried a different kind of warmth. Yet for those who watched closely, something lingered in his eyes. That tiny pause before a smile. That moment when he looked toward the crowd and then away. Because sometimes, even in a room full of people, the heart looks for just one person. And she wasn't there. Zhang Ruonan, her name wasn't mentioned, not even once. No tag, no greeting, no shared photo. Just absence. And yet, that absence felt louder than the music that night. It wasn't dramatic. It wasn't obvious. It was quiet. The kind of quiet that hurts more than words ever could. Fans began noticing it almost instantly. Why didn't she come? Was she busy? Did something happen? But maybe the truth doesn't live in statements or public posts. Maybe it lives in the spaces we never talk about, the spaces between two people who once understood each other without needing to speak. And that night, Bai Jingting's silence spoke volumes. He smiled through it all, like a professional. But if you've ever loved someone deeply, if you've ever tried to move on while pretending everything is fine, you'd recognize that kind of smile. The kind that trembles just before it fades. It's strange how not being there can mean so much. Zhang Ruonan didn't post anything that day. No happy birthday, no emoji, not even a like. The world noticed, but she stayed quiet. And in that quietness, something tender existed. It wasn't anger. It wasn't indifference. It was restraint, the kind that only comes from someone who still cares, but knows she shouldn't show it. Because love isn't always about presence. Sometimes, it's about staying away. In the spotlight world of K-actors, every gesture is magnified, every silence analyzed. Maybe she knew that her presence would shift the attention away from him. Maybe she wanted the night to belong solely to Bai Jingting, not to them. Or maybe, she simply couldn't be there. Whatever the reason, her absence felt intentional. Not careless, but considerate. Like someone quietly closing a door to let another shine. But even so, fans couldn't help feeling that invisible string between them, that delicate, almost sacred connection that refuses to fade no matter how much time passes. The truth is, love doesn't always die. It just learns to hide better. So while everyone celebrated his success, while laughter filled the air and cameras flashed endlessly, there was something else that hovered in the background, something tender, unspoken, and heartbreakingly human. And in that moment, the missing face became the loudest memory. Maybe the world expects closure. A statement. A reason. But love, real love, doesn't always give you one. Sometimes, distance itself is an act of love. Perhaps she didn't come because she didn't want to reopen what both of them had worked so hard to gently close. Perhaps he didn't mention her because he respected that silence, because saying her name out loud would mean breaking something fragile they both were trying to protect. The thing about emotions is that they never truly leave. They linger in habits, in songs, in sudden moments of stillness. In the way his eyes softened when someone mentioned old memories. That night, when the cake was brought out and everyone sang, Bai Jingting closed his eyes for a second and smiled. It wasn't the smile of a man celebrating alone. It was the smile of someone remembering. He didn't have to look for her in the crowd. Maybe he already knew she wasn't there. But in his heart, she probably always is in the quiet corners, in the pauses between applause. Because some people never really leave you. They just stop standing beside you. And maybe that's what real maturity looks like, learning to celebrate the moment, even when the person who once made those moments meaningful is no longer around. The irony is beautiful and cruel at the same time. The more you try to forget, the more the absence reminds you of what once was. At the end of the night, when the lights dimmed and the guests left one by one, Bai Jingting stood by the window, looking out at the quiet Seoul skyline. He wasn't lonely. Just reflective. Maybe this is what growing up feels like, learning that not every love ends in goodbye. Some just fade gently into gratitude. And maybe, somewhere far away, Zhang Ruonan looked at the same night sky and whispered a wish, not for reunion, but for peace. Because sometimes, the most beautiful gift you can give someone you once loved is the freedom to shine without you. And maybe that's what she gave him. If you've ever missed someone at a moment that was supposed to be perfect, you understand this story. Love isn't always loud. Sometimes, it's the quietest thing in the room. What did you feel watching Bai Jingting's birthday unfold? Do you think silence can say more than words ever could? Tell us your thoughts below, because maybe, like him, you've learned that the heart remembers what the world forgets. Thought Balloon.